Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new school year for 22-23. This is some general information for all of my families, regardless of what grade your child is and regardless of whether you are new or returning. This video is the place to start. So I have a lot of basic information about how the school year should go, my expectations for my families and students, as well as some school expectations as well. And as always, if you have questions, which I'm sure many of you will, be sure to let me know after you're done watching the video. Send those questions my way and I can answer those. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started here with the general information. First of all, who am I? Most of you have met me at this point. My name is Mr. Baumgartner, or Mr. B. This is my third year teaching at EPIC, and my certification area is in secondary social studies. So I love history, geography, government, anything like that. I really, really enjoy learning about, talking about, and of course, teaching as well. As we go through the year, of course, you and your student will get to know me a little bit better. This is why this slide is so brief. This presentation is not about me, so we'll go ahead and move on. What does school look like here at EPIC? How does it work? This is really what this slideshow is about. This video will probably be the longest one that I send out to all of you, so I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. It really is important information, otherwise I wouldn't be putting it in video form. The next few slides are all about this, right? I try to give you as brief an overview as I possibly can about how EPIC works, about how our model works, and how it differs from, well, a traditional school where you meet in person. First of all, technology. Of course, we are primarily an online school, so technology becomes very important. All of the technology is initially ordered at the ILP meeting, and if you're needing more technology throughout the year, then we can order it throughout the year. But usually most of it is taken care of during that initial ILP meeting. Most schoolwork is, of course, completed online as well in one or more online curriculums. We'll get into curriculums in the following slides here. So go ahead, everybody, feel free to pause the video, put this technical support number in your phone right now, just so that you have it. This is, well, it's the technical support number for EPIC Tech Support. If you're having a technical issue with your computer or whatever, just let the tech department know about that. And if it's something that you think that I, as your teacher, am not savvy enough to fix, then it would be a time to go to technical support and have them help you out with it. So you can call them at that phone number, of course, that 405 number, and you can also submit a ticket through the EPIC website. There's, of course, a technology page and a technical support area where you can submit a ticket, explain what's going on, and it asks you some other questions like what device is it, what's your teacher's name and email, things like that. And hopefully, with these two tools available to you, we can remedy all of those technical issues very quickly. As for what a typical day looks like, well, every student will have a primary online curriculum that houses most of their assignments to complete. For example, for those of you who are returning and familiar with EPIC, a primary curriculum would be something like Plato or Bright Thinker or Waterford or EPIC Ed, which a lot of elementary school students are using this year. It's whatever curriculum houses the majority of the students' work, right? Think about that as the area where they have their their math class, English, science, social studies, all of that. Students are expected to work a full 5 days each week. I have full underlined and in all caps. So again, it's important. A full day of work. You all, I trust that you know what a full day means. So uh, hold your child to that, right? Make sure that they are on track and working. Something new this year is we will have daily bell ringers. Unfortunately, I don't know a ton about that yet. I think it'll be a pretty quick little thing that students complete every day. It won't be too much of a time sink at all. Once I know more about it, of course, I will let all of you families know. Students will work in each of their courses or subjects for an appropriate amount of time each day, following due dates and time requirements. So each student will have a daily schedule that they stick to, and they'll probably have a certain amount of time that they dedicate to each subject each day. And of course, following the due dates is the most important thing to keep in mind. And if your child is young enough to where their curriculum does not have due dates, then follow time requirements, right? You need to spend this much time working on language arts, this much time working on math, and so on. Attending any in-person or virtual classes that may be scheduled on that day. So during a typical day, your child may not have any virtual classes that they attend. However, some days they may have one or more that they attend, either with me or with a different teacher, depending on what it is. And again, yes, we will cover that as we go along. And then parents and guardians, this is for you. You should know what your children are working on. Again, holding them accountable, making sure that they're working the full 5 days per week, checking in on them as is necessary. And if they need help, try and offer them some support, as best as support as you can. We don't expect you to be experts in all of the different subjects, but you're an adult. You can provide them a little bit of support, and as you're needing help yourself, be sure to communicate that with me, of course. Uh, Speaking of daily schedules, everyone's very first assignment, or among their very first assignments, is going to be to put together a daily schedule for your child, right? So this is for parents and guardians. And if your child is old enough, they can have some input as well. But of course, you have final say. Put together a daily schedule for your child. And if daily doesn't work for you because your schedule changes so much from day to day, then that's fine. A weekly schedule would also be great. In fact, a weekly schedule would probably be even better. This is a requirement. In the past, I have not made this a requirement, but it will be this year. I need to have that from all of my families. This is something that I will have all of you put together once you know all of the classes that your student is taking this year. Some of you, of course, already know that information. Some of you are still waiting. So once you know, I will get a hold of you and give you maybe some more specifics on how to put this together. Don't make it overly complicated if you don't want to. I just need to have some sort of sense of this is when my student is starting school for the day, and here's what they're working on and for how long, so that they can stick to it and that I can have it on file. Once it's completed, I'll have you send it to me. I'll review it. If I think that anything needs to be changed or tweaked, then I will, of course, let you know. And otherwise, we'll have that in place. And again, that'll be something that your child sticks to throughout the year. And if you ever need or want to change it, of course you can. We have flexibility in that way since we are online. As for grades and pacing, grades will be calculated using a student's work in their primary curriculum and any other supplements that they may be using. So remember, I said each student will have a primary core curriculum that they use for most of their work. And pretty much everyone will also have one or maybe even multiple supplemental programs that they'll use alongside of that. For example, if your child is assigned Epic Essentials, that would be considered a supplemental curriculum that they work in. And based on the subjects that they're utilizing that for, that will also go into their overall calculation for that grade. Parents and guardians will be able to access current grades in PowerSchool. You'll just log into PowerSchool and you can see what your child's grades are. Now, us teachers, we're supposed to update grades once per week. I usually do that on Fridays. Sometimes it takes me till over the weekend to do it, but usually I'm good at getting those taken care of by the end of the day, Friday. And pacing is built into the curriculum for you. And when it's not, I go in and by hand do it, right? So all of that is to say your curriculums will have due dates already put in there for you. You shouldn't have to do any guesswork as to when things need to be turned in or how much work your child needs to be working on. Everything is laid out pretty logically in all of the curriculums that we use. However, if you do need help, again, just let me know. I have another underlined piece here. Do not let your child fall behind. That goes back to uh, being sure you know what your child is working on and what they need to get taken care of, and checking their work, right? Something that you agree to in that parent school contract is checking your child's schoolwork daily. That's the expectation by the school. That's my expectation as well. And if you're doing that, then it's a better chance that your child is staying caught up and not falling behind in any of their subjects. And then zeros will be assigned on Fridays. I will enter in zeros for any overdue activities on the Friday following the day that they were due. Okay, so meetings with your teacher. Another important part about our model here at Epic is those face-to-face meetings with myself, between me and the student, right? So meetings will be once every 2 weeks, and the meetings will be in person as often as possible, usually at whatever library is closest to you. So if you live in Claremore, for example, the Will Rogers Library. If you live in Tulsa, whatever branch of the Tulsa Public Library is closest. Those tend to be the best places to meet. Like I said, every 2 weeks, and they will be at the same day and time every 2 weeks, right? So I will very rarely change that. And if we have to change it, then you'll be known. It'll be made known to you far in advance, so you'll be able to plan for that. This will be a one-on-one meeting. I mentioned that already, and we'll go over one or more different concepts. This year, I will probably lean heavily on English language arts, cover math as well, and then science and social studies, maybe not quite as often, but that might be worked in as well. Okay, another super important thing for this school year, our Tea Time virtual co-op / Epic Live. So the Tea Time virtual co-op is going to be for all students 3rd through 8th grade, and it's going to be through the Epic Live platform, which I know a lot of you have used in the past, so you're familiar with it. If you're not, fear not. It's very easy to pick up. And of course, all of the meetings are in Zoom, which is integrated into Epic Live. So all 3rd through 8th graders are doing it. And what exactly is it? How does it work? A brief overview is this. If your child is from 3rd through 8th grade, they will have a math class and an English class that they attend once per week through Epic Live in this virtual co-op that we have going on. And then for a couple of grades, the grades that have a writing test at the end of the year during their state testing, you'll also have a writing class that you attend. So at the most, you'll have 3 of these classes per week. So not a whole lot, but it is still definitely very beneficial. And it's a chance for your child to interact with other kids in the same grade, interact with a different teacher other than myself, and they in these meetings will go over a specific state standard, sometimes multiple, uh, correlating to that grade and that subject, right? So if you're a 3rd grader, you'll have 3rd grade math and 3rd grade English. 4th grade, same thing, 4th grade math, 4th grade English, and so on all the way through 8th grade. This year, I am teaching 8th grade English. So if you're an 8th grader, you may very well have me as your co-op teacher. However, we do have some other 8th grade teachers as well. So you may have one of them. Other Epic Live classes, if you're in a grade other than 3rd through 8th, I am working on finding some other Epic Live classes for you to attend. There are classes for younger students, pre-K through 2nd. There are also, of course, classes for high schoolers as well. These are an opportunity for you to, again, have extra support in whatever subject that is, and to interact with other students your own age. Students will be assigned to 1 or more virtual classes that meet once a week. I already mentioned that. And then the classes, of course, will happen over Zoom. You're probably wondering, with all of these different meetings to keep track of, what's the best way to do that? Of course, you all may have your own different methods. You may have a physical calendar or reminders on your phone, and that's all great. This year, though, I'm definitely going to push Google Calendar. I'd like to see all families and students utilizing this. All of your one-on-one meetings with me, for example, will be housed in Google Calendar for you to look at any time. So you never have to guess. You never have to guess when a meeting is. You can just pull up Google Calendar and boom, it'll be there for you to look at. Now, Google Calendar is very simple to use. It's very user-friendly. I picked it up very quickly. However, I will have a short video going over how Google Calendar works a bit more in depth later on, where you can watch. If you're uncomfortable or if you're new to Google Calendar, it really is a fantastic system. I encourage people to use it for school, of course, but even for personal events as well. It's a great way to keep track of everything. As for testing, of course, we do have benchmark tests throughout the year. If you'd like to pause the video and take a note of when your child's benchmark window is, feel free to do that. These are just the windows for right now. So I don't have your specific student's exact date on the calendar yet, but that will hopefully come very soon. You can also see the state tests. The window is listed there as well. This is for pre-K through 8th. And then here are the high school benchmarks. right? Again, feel free to pause, take a screenshot if you want to. I will, of course, be very communicative about benchmarks as we get into the school year and as they're approaching. We have 3 throughout the course of the year. Coming to the end here, communication is essential. That means calling me, texting me, emailing me whenever you have questions or whenever you need help. Please do not feel bad about contacting me. Even if you think it's a dumb question, uh, send it my way. I'm not going to judge you. For some of you, this is totally new. And for some of you um, who've been with Epic before, we've had an entire summer break. So there's some, getting used to school that needs to take place again, right? Easing your way back in. So if you have questions, please let me know. It also works the other way. I will call, text, or email some of you periodically, and I do expect you to respond to me within a timely manner. That is, again, part of that parent-school contract that we went over in the ILP. Make sure that you are able to be reached. Keep your phone turned on. I don't expect you to, in the middle of your workday, stop what you're doing and respond to me right away, but try to get back to me as soon as you can. And one other thing here, the second bullet point, I do always send out a weekly update email. That is for everyone. I send it to parents and students. Everyone gets that weekly update email. My expectation is that all parents and guardians will take a look at that either Friday evening or over the weekend sometime to make sure that you are fully up to date on everything that's going on. That should actually answer a lot of questions that you may have, that Friday update email. Again, that goes out every Friday, so be looking for that in your email. And whenever you get it, just read over it. And if you have questions, then let me know about that. And lastly, just make this a great year. I think that this is going to be a great year. I am really, really excited about some of the changes that have taken place this year, some of the things that I think are going to make our model better and make things easier for us teachers and especially for parents and guardians as well. Just remember, as a parent or guardian, your role here at Epic is much, much bigger than it is at a traditional brick and mortar school. So naturally, you're going to have questions, and I think I've reiterated this many, many times now, but uh, just don't feel shy about asking those questions and asking for help whenever you need it. That's everything for general information. Again, I promise this will be the longest of the videos you have to watch. There will be several others that pertain to you. Watch those and have a great school year. Bye for now.